Hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Stock Trades. How's everybody doing today? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and talk about a few things. If you haven't realized, our lives, I've been going really deep dives. We're really going deep. And every live, we're talking about something different. We're going deeper in different areas, and we're pretty much basically kind of like the magic school bus, right? And ultimately, this is going to be the segue to our in-house Zoom calls we're going to have for lifetime access members, where we're going to basically pull up the options chain and we're going to trade live and pretty much try to figure out what's the best option chain to do for covered calls and cash secured puts. And we're going to grab the whole community from lifetime, where everyone's going to basically be able to talk about what they see in the market and what are predictions and whatnot. Okay, so very quickly, today the market's really well. Even though the Moody downgrade happened, we're up about 21K. We were up about the 25K earlier today. Right now, the portfolio is around 1.139 million. Just a few weeks ago or months ago, it was up at 1.4 million. So the market with the tariffs and everything is consolidating, and we're starting to formulate multiple levels of bottoms here. So I expect this to go higher. Now, interestingly, you go ahead and look at United, and today, if you compare on just a simple one day, Clover is up. Let's go ahead and update this. It went up like 4% technically, but just 1.41%. And then United went up a massive 8% today, but year to date, it's still down 37%. Now, unfortunately, you go on and you go to Twitter, and this guy messages me. He says, "Enjoy your penny stocks." Right? He messages Clover-minded Kevin and Fabio Shin, which is our members, right? And he says, "Enjoy your penny stock." And all he does is look at today's price change, 8% versus 1%. He doesn't understand that. A year, Clover's up 300%, actually more. If you want to look at the bottom, it's up more than, it's like 437%. But we'll just call it a year. And if you look at United, it's up. Hold on, guys, one moment. All right, so if you go ahead and look at United a year ago, it's actually down 38%. Now, do you really think this guy who has a Pokemon style profile, do you think he understands about intrinsic value? Do you think he understands? I told him, like, I'm actually, he's like, I hope you're enjoying your penny stock. I'm like, yeah, I am. See you in 5 years, right? And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this link, and we're going to take some receipts, and I'm going to actually post this here on my notes, and then later in the next coming years, we are going to, hopefully the guy doesn't delete his from embarrassment, he doesn't delete his post, but he's talking about Clover as a penny stock because it's under $5. But again, because the market cap is $2 billion, around $2 billion, that's not considered a penny stock, right? So a good way to, a good way to talk about this is, let's open this up here and let me show you really quickly. And we've done this discussion before. You go close stock, and Clover's at 1.383 billion market cap. And if you don't know what market cap is, then you should not be in the stock market, right? So watch this. Does a market cap of 1.83 billion that's trading at $3.60 considered a penny stock? Let's see. So according to the SEC, a stock trades below 5 usually is by small companies, right? And often traded. So share price below 5, it meets the criteria. Market cap 1.83 billion. This is a mid-cap company, not a small company, right? So it's not considered a penny stock. No, because companies with 1.83 billion market cap trading on a major is not what investors would call a penny stock. So again, unfortunately, people like this chase yield, and over the long run, they're going to end up coming to Clover and investing at a higher amount. And then people like us are going to make money off of him because most likely he's not going to be able to afford Clover's high share price. So what they'll do is they'll buy calls and they'll gamble, right? I like to sell calls and sell puts. I don't like to gamble, right? So they're going to buy those things, trying to get at a cheaper price, but they're going to gamble. Oh, he replied back. He replied back. Oh, let's see what he says. You guys want to see what he says? Let's see. He replies back. Okay, he's being nice. He's being kind. Hope you make good money on that. Take care. Okay, he's being kind. He's being kind. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You too. You too, brother. Okay, then I rescind my receipts to annihilate you in 5 years from now. That's fine. You too, brother. It's like, when I grow up, I want to be, a pilot and destroy javelin right now. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty much it right there, right? No, he's being kind. He's being kind. That's fine. That's okay. It's okay. But anywho, I always like to have fun. You guys see me post some weird stuff on Twitter. I like, I'm a '90s kid. I guess you could call me a troll as well, right? I guess I'm a troll, in a good way, right? So, big thing here, guys. I want to also make some announcements. Well, first off, in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about what's insider trading. Someone reached out to us about that. We're going to talk about market dynamics. We're going to talk about this Becker podcast for Clover Health. There's a lot to discuss, but why am I talking about this London exchange, a company it's like a British supermarket. It's called Sainsbury. Obviously, I don't know nothing about this company, but there's also this other company this is the Vanguard in London. Also, this is another company called Avenue Supermarkets. I guess I'm in the market for supermarkets. No, this is not a $2.7 trillion company. This is a company in India, right? So why are we talking about these, right? Well, very simple. I'm very proud to announce that Our Stock Trades now dominates 44 countries and 60 plus stock market exchanges, billions of data points, one terminal, total market power and market control at your disposal. Yes, you heard that right. We are in now 44 countries and 60 stock market exchanges where we are pulling sophisticated data so you can calculate the intrinsic value, because we got clients from India. We got clients from Russia. We also give stock market data in Russia. We got clients in the UK. We got clients in Canada. So now we have access to the Toronto Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, we have access to the Israel Stock Market Exchange. We have access to all of these exchanges now. So many more. This is just one page, right? This is incredible. Incredible. Now, why is this incredible? Well, India is going to be the next new China. Imagine being able to find companies that just hit basically free cash flow. So now you can use the power of the world stock market and input it directly into our proprietary premium stock terminal to give you an AI summary analysis. How powerful is that? Millions of billions of dollars are going to be made using this platform. Okay. So now we're in every country that has a stock market, which is incredible. And, a lot of our international members have joined, and now we have that, right? And tell me a platform that's doing that. So you know what that means? Now you can use Monte Carlo to go ahead and look at foreign stocks that are in your local market for our international users. Now, let me explain. This here is an Indian company. It's called DMart. So what you want to do is, if you want to pull up the financials for DMart, all you have to do is type in DMart. But because it's India, you have to, again, this is why I give you have to look at the ticker code. Because it's India, the ticker code for India is BO, right? BO. You go ahead and hit enter, And now you have the complete financials of BO. Avenue Supermarkets Limited. You have the AI analysis of it turning free cash flow positive. The currency is in the specified currency of the country. Soon we will be updating the terminal to show you exactly what currency it is and to report the schema effectively. So they report their fiscal year potentially in March. Every country has their own fiscal reporting. All that will be organized and automatically done for you for our international members, right? Because remember, the GDP, we also are in Africa as well, right? The GDP of India is going to grow like China. So is Africa in the next 50 years. Don't you want a piece of that? Well, now you can have that data. Okay. And the beautiful part is you can do extended history. And now you could, again, lots of information. Let's say, for example, you want to look at a company in London. If you do London, it's SBRY. You do London and you have to type in .L for London. For US, you don't have to do that. You do that, and here's London. You can see exactly when it turned free cash flow in 2016, and net income turned 2021. So you could go ahead and do the extended history and look at the extended history of London, right? You could look at and analyze that all for this London traded company, right? So this is an incredible development. There's a lot in the pipeline that we are creating. The pipeline is strong. Sounds like Peter, right? The pipeline is strong, right? For our advancements, which is why this is going to be a 15 to 30K lifetime access membership. And then that will be rescinded and lifetime members will be grandfathered in. And then we're going to go ahead and do an initiation fee of 25K with a yearly due of anywhere between 8 to 15K. Okay. So I'm curious to see how this has performed. And you can look at it in, these markets have not really been done well, unfortunately, right? And this is why the UK is such not a really great place to invest in, right? In my opinion, it's very hard to really make money, which is why a lot of people in the UK, they come to our US stock market because, it's what we do. We innovate. Just look at this channel where we started and I'm just one person and look at everything that I was able to innovate. Take that and multiply it by all the Americans that you have. And that's the power of the United States of America, right? So, right? USA, right? I'm of course an imperialist, right? But the thing is, India is on a growth rate like China. Right? I mean, look at BYDD or BYD. The thing is, it's killing Tesla. I'll give you an example, and this is in US. So this is Tesla. It's making 97 billion. BYD. Oh no! BYD stock. That's not the right company. It's this one, BYDD. It's making, is that right? You got to transfer that. I guess you got to put that in yen. Even still, it's killing Tesla. It is killing Tesla in terms of the amount of cars it's selling, right? How are you doing, Dr. Patel? So I'm very excited. Now we have our data is in, let me show you. I'm so excited. Our data now is in 44 countries around the world, access to over 60 stock market exchanges. All you got to do is put in the ticker symbol and put in the country's zip code or like ticker code. So for India, it's .bo. Obviously, there's other Indian ones too. In fact, let me see if I can pull this up. So here's the global exchange master list. You got to go ahead and where's India? Did I skip it? Did I skip India? Look at this. I must have skipped it. Oh, it's right here. So there's two stock market exchanges. There's Bombay Stock Exchange, which is .bo, and there's National Stock Exchange of India, which is .ns. Look at all this. You see this? Look at all this. All these countries, all these exchanges, right? So I hope they IPO these companies in the US. Exactly. Absolutely, right? But sometimes you want to get in it early, right? So we'll see again. So I'm very excited. That line from Al, I rescind my receipts to annihilate you in 5 years. Yeah, I know. I rescind my receipts. I will not annihilate you. That's fine. right? Because I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. Usually when a company hits you like this in the head by a 4x2, you usually have found a 10 bagger. Okay, so I'll explain what that means. I quote Monish, who was the follower of Benjamin Graham, Charlie Munger, and Warren Buffett. Same as me and same as all my lifetime members. Okay? We must give honor and tribute to the people that came before us. Okay, so we talked about India, we talked about London, we talked about these announcements. That's good. Now, Alignment Healthcare up 2.92%, year to date up 40%. Looks like it seems as we're starting to rebound here, okay? Humana up 3.94%, still down on the year, but it's starting to recover. Clover Health is up 1.41%, up 15%. Our portfolio hedging modeling system, which is our stock picks, our proprietary stock picks that are for lifetime access members, it's now outperforming the S&P 500. You can find that in the portfolio hedging modeling to all my lifetime access members. I'm not going to press this on live because we cannot. This is our own stock picks. But if you go here and press portfolio hedging modeling system, these are all the stock picks from an educational perspective, right? There's a lot of good companies there, and we update that, and we're going to essentially rebalance it next month, and then we're going to go also rebalance it by the end of the year. And we're going to take 2 rebalancing sides, and we're going to basically see which one outperforms. Beta tested model. Okay. Palantir down on the day, 2.46, but again, up 68%, obviously high of 133. We called this sucker out at $6.50-ish cents. Right now, we're finally up 1.62%. We are on our way to making new all-time highs. Ladies and gentlemen, very clear that I must say, I'm going to go ahead and switch topics now to a couple of things that we need to talk about. Okay. Bitcoin hit a record high close yesterday, despite some earlier weakness. It's expected to climb from 112 to 115,000 before a possible dip, then a potential rally to 135,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I have access to institutional data sets, institutional research for firms that usually have over $100 million you have to be invested in. Because I have resources and because I have connections, I'm sitting at those tables and I know exactly what these people are talking about. And what people are saying is that we're going to basically hit over 135 and potentially over 150K in Bitcoin in the coming months. So we're going to go ahead and expect it to rally. Now, the big thing is the Bitcoin dominance has slightly dipped, hinting towards a possible shift to altcoins. So altcoins are essentially can go up, right? Now, again, I'm a fundamentalist. I'm a Warren Buffett type investor. Why the hell am I talking about Bitcoin? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems to me that Bitcoin now is starting to become the new gold, right? And a lot of companies, a lot of countries, which you can call them companies, right? They all have their own earnings, right? They're holding this right now, and the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and all these different types of things. There's a lot happening right now. There's a cap on Bitcoin. There's halvings involved. There's a lot of big money entering Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this could potentially offset gold as the next reserve away from cash. So we're going to be talking about it now because it is becoming serious. Okay. If you were to equate the market cap of gold in equivalence to Bitcoin, then Bitcoin has the potential of going to $948,000 a coin. But if you were to then offset that to grow for the next 50 years, then Bitcoin could potentially be over $1 million a coin to like 5-10 million a coin, which is insane, I know. But that again, it could be a reserve, right? A reserve currency, if you will, right? If you don't believe that, well, then let me tell you, why is gold valuable? Why is gold valuable? What is so valuable about gold? Why is this gold that I'm wearing, why is it so valuable? Okay. India Stock Exchange has been on fire for the past few years, exactly. And now we have access to it. And now we can use our state-of-the-art cutting AI technology and infuse it with the Indian stock market to make incredible money, right? Now, Dr. Patel, if you can educate us, what are brokers that we can use to invest in these emerging markets, right? what's coming out? What did I miss? Oh yeah, you got to rewind it. This is some crazy stuff now we have access to, right? You've seen it, I think. We released it in the stock terminal. The number of retail investors guaranteeing a Black Monday all weekend because Moody's downgrade U.S. credit 1 point on 21A was hilarious, right? Either going to BTC prices. Oh yeah. So also Ethereum is going to start climbing, which is a prognostic indicator of small caps. We talked about that in prior videos. Let's talk about Clover. It's serious. Serious has a brain aneurysm, right? No, I don't know. I'll have to phone a friend. Yeah, if we can do that, and if we can figure out what broker we go to, because again, I don't know. This one I don't know. Somewhere we can figure out, how do we invest in this, and you have to be careful because there's no regulation, so this is risky, right? You want to wait until they come to the U.S., but by the time they come to the U.S., maybe they might be already big. I'm killing it on MSTY. Oh yeah, and so is Dr. Patel. Monish probably doesn't believe in Bitcoin as it has no intrinsic value. I agree. Monish does not. Again, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger disciples don't believe in this. However, what is gold's intrinsic value? You have to ask them that. What is gold? What is the intrinsic value of gold? Right? So that's the argument. It's becoming a currency. And if others now buy this currency, there's a cap. There's a cap of how many Bitcoins are out there, right? Again, I'm just giving you, don't shoot the messenger. I'm giving you what these hedge funds and institutions are talking about right now, right? I'm at the table, guys. Okay, when I tell you I'm at the table, I'm at the table. How do you think I'm able to build all this, right? I know what I'm doing, right? I know I'm at the table, okay? And and these are the discussions that I'm hearing, okay? Well, that's the thing. So that it depends if you're it's tangible, you can hold. Which is why, I don't have any Bitcoin, which I need to, sadly, looking at what I'm hearing from these smart people. But we'll see. Hopefully there's a big crash and I might be able to dip my toes in. I'm not saying to go buy Bitcoin. All I'm telling you is that it's going to go up. Why am I talking about Bitcoin going up? Because it's a prognostic indicator of the S&P 500, right? The M2 money supply is 10 weeks ahead of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is a couple weeks ahead of S&P. You see what I'm telling you? The reason why we're talking about Bitcoin is it's a prognostic indicator of the S&P 500. Why am I talking about the S&P 500? Because it's a prognostic indicator of Clover Health. Got it? So these are ETFs. Well, oh, that's the one you showed me. Yes. Exactly. Yes, I remember. Yes. Okay. So, good discussions. I just wanted to make sure we're clear, right? That's why I'm talking about it, because it's a prognostic indicator, and that's what they're using it as. So the S&P now is pretty much, we're next to all-time new highs. Ladies and gentlemen, we just created a new channel. It's called Al Stock Trades Clips. You could go ahead and give us a subscribe. We have 21 subscribers now. What we're going to do is on the main channel, which is what we're watching, is going to be our deep dives. The Al Stock Trades Clips is going to be a curated version of 1 minute to 2 minute videos that are on here that are basically cut from what we basically say here. The issue is, ladies and gentlemen, is that obviously, if you want to get the deep dive insights, it's going to be on this channel, right? But this channel is just to keep you updated on things, just in case if you missed a video or whatever, okay? It's good to have both. Likewise, it'll help with the algorithm, because if we make a bunch of Clover Health videos and then we have these Clover Health shorts, it's going to ultimately help spread awareness. Already with our activity, I don't know if it shows you, already within 24 hours of creating it, we already have over 1,000. Technically, this is not updated. We have 1,500 views already on this channel. So this channel is doing really well, okay? And we just created it like yesterday. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom out. Hold on. There. Okay, so we went ahead and got this email regarding insider selling for Clover Health. Okay, so let me explain. So first off, to the gentleman, the little guy, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a stockbroker. Everything I say, take it as a grain of salt. In fact, salt is actually more valuable. It can make your food taste better, right? Take me as a speck of just crap, okay? So my opinion is nothing, okay? Now, with that said, I know, I got you. Let's see here. And by the way, Dr. Patel is very knowledgeable when it comes to cryptocurrency. If people want to talk to him, he actually taught. He sent me a lot of educational material. Online, really. Oh yeah, Outline Again Al is really a machine. Machine, you know that little comedian. I'm the machine. Okay, so got my coffee right. Um, so with that said, this was a question, and it said, first off, a big thank you for all that you do. It's not only impressive, but also refreshing to see someone generally looking out for the smaller guys. I know you're busy, so I'll get right to it. I've been noticing consistent insider selling at Clover. On its own, maybe not a huge red flag, but when combined with weak stock performance since January, the absence of SaaS-related announcements, and dare I say it again, no insider buying from Vivek in late 2024, it starts to feel more concerning. What's your take on insider selling? And what else should we be watching to make better informed decisions on what is, for me, a very modest long position? Basically, some chump change. No. Don't devalue your position. The fact that you're invested, you are ahead of people that are not. Okay? That is number one. Right? I'm still live from last night. Let's go. I took a shower live. No, I'm just kidding, right? No, okay. So, by the way, I was up at 3 a.m. working, guys. It's I'm trying to build the future, guys. I'm trying to build the future, right? The future is bright. I need to build this, right? Now we're in 60 stock markets now. I'll stock trades. We have clients all over the world. Okay? We have members all over the world. All right, so to answer this question, I think the best way to do it is let's pull up a Form 4. So I'm going to pull up any Form 4. Well, I'm going to see if I can pull a big one. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, so let's zoom in. Let's address this. Why is Clover Health insider selling shares? Now, the problem is if you go ahead and if you go to platforms that just give you data, that just give you the stock price, unfortunately, you're going to walk out to a position of no return. You're not really going to understand what's going on. So let me explain. If you go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and if you wait a minute. If you go ahead and if you look at this, and if you look at Clover Health's insider trading for, May 2025, you'll see 1.02 million shares sold. Oh my God. Why is it selling? The stock is going down and they're selling. Oh my God, this is dangerous. Oh, I'm going to lose my money. I have to sell. At the same time, you're seeing institutional investors buy more Clover. In fact, now institutional investors could be up to 27.92%. So somebody please help me understand this. Why is insider selling but institutions buying? There has to be a disconnect. There has to be a gap in knowledge. And the gap in knowledge is your gap in knowledge. This is your gap in knowledge. And now you either have you have a couple directions. Obviously, you reached out. Others, I'm speaking to others. You have a couple directions. You could say, buzz off. I don't believe this. Okay. Stay poor for the rest of your life. As B. Rad Cooley says, we'll pat you on the back. Go row the boat, right? You work for me. Go row the boat, right? Go increase the GDP of the United States. You work for us. You work for Wall Street. Go work. Get out. Go work, right? Stay poor for the rest of your life, okay? Now, if you want to essentially get to the next level, learn. Okay, so why are insiders selling? Well, let's look at this one. Peter. Who is Peter? Peter Pan. He is the CFO of Clover Health, right? He sold $825,000 of Clover, right? Or is that shares? My apologies, right? So he still owns this many shares. So he sold a lot at this price. He sold a lot of money. I think this is the price, right? So why did he sell? Why is Peter selling? Oh my God, why is he selling, right? Right? That's what retail investors do, right? Well, oh my God. Just go down. Dude, seriously, go down, read it. Explanation of reason of response. Represents shares of Class A common stock that were automatically withheld to cover tax obligation. Okay, let me go ahead and explain this. Let me go ahead and just see if I can figure this out, okay? Can you please explain this at the level of a third grader? Okay, because I've showed this many times. So it says a person got a special kind of reward from their job called RSUs. They're like pretend pieces of a company that can turn into a real one later. On April 25, 2025, the first 25% of those pieces turned real. When that happens, the company kept some of them to help pay taxes, kind of like how adults pay part of their paycheck to the government. The rest of the pretend pieces will become real little by little every 3 months until all of them are real. Okay. Now, can you please explain at the level of a third grader? Does this mean that they're selling shares on purpose because they don't value the company? Because these are insiders selling? Or is this an automatic process? Please explain this at the level of a third grader. Okay, now let's go ahead. And this is a kid-friendly version. Nope. They're not selling the shares on purpose because they don't like the company. No, right? What's happening is it is automatic. It is automatic. Right? Kind of like when your school automatically takes attendance every day. Oh, right? Whether you ask them or not, they're still going to take attendance. When the reward shares turn real, the company automatically takes some of them to pay taxes, like taking a slice of cake before giving you the rest. The person doesn't choose to sell those shares, and it doesn't mean they think the company is bad. It's just a normal part of these rewards and how they work. Again, I'm not trying to belittle you, my friend. This is not aimed at you. You reached out to me. You want to learn. There are people out there, after explaining this to them, they're like, why are they selling? They shouldn't be selling. It's automatic. It is done automatically. Okay? Jesus. It is done automatically. Okay? But it's okay. It's fine, because there's going to be retail investors that see that and they're going to sell. And then institutions are going to buy their shares. Right? So you should do exactly what institutions want you to do. And let me show you what they want you to do. Let me tell you what they don't want you to know. Right? And again, don't listen to me. Don't listen to someone who's made over $15 million in the stock market who went from freaking homeless. Don't listen to someone who's successful, right? Listen to someone who pumps AMC, trash, right? So, here are retail investors. Yes, give me your Clover Health shares. Don't listen to Al Stock Trades. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? right? He doesn't know. Here's my shares. Screw out stock trades. Insiders are selling. Yes, they are. Let me take them for you. Let me take them for you. Right? They start eating them, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and there's also a lot of bad people out there that like to make it seem like they're selling, right? So now let's do what we do best and let's teach. Again, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I love you and I care about you. Very quickly, just give me a moment. Let me give me a moment. Let me see something. Because I gotta check something here. I don't know if this video choppy? Because I didn't restart the computer. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's smooth. It's smooth. Good. All right. So again, I'm not trying to offend you. Okay. I'm trying to show you. So now your next question is, okay, it's automatically done. Okay. It's automatically done. So they let go of their shares. Where do these shares go? That should be your question. Where do these shares go? That should be your next question. Do you want to know where they go? Do you want to know where these shares go? I'm going to show you where they went. Okay? And Master the Chin in the first comment, if you can look at it, he said treasury shares. And he said, hit that like. Master the Chin is our member that went from $74,000 to $920,000 plus and got a nice Rolex. And by the way, Master, I'm gonna buy that $40,000 Rolex too, right? So I'm speaking to my jeweler, and I'm about to make an acquisition of a Rolex soon. Just give me about a year, right? Give me a year. I'm gonna make the acquisition because right now I think Clover's gonna explode. So let me buy a little bit more Clover, and then we're going to go ahead and make that acquisition of the Rolex, right? We might even get it maybe in 2-3 months from now. We'll see, right? So now let's whip out the iPad and let's have an iPad discussion. Let me first go to the questions. Same as Palantir insider selling for tax purposes. Exactly, but most people don't get that. Third grade expert, I love this. Pretend pieces. Pretend pieces. Guys, I'm having fun, right? But sometimes, you really gotta, sometimes, you really have to kind of explain things in just kind of different way, and hopefully that helps. Okay. And never be afraid to ask questions. Okay. Okay. Don't be afraid. Al, I've been in this first, but still broke. Keep my lifetime access cheap till CLOV blows. But that's the problem. You see what we're doing, right? Look at we're in literally 44 countries now. You see how it's becoming more expensive? I mean, that's why it's going to be expensive, right? So we're expanding. So by the time the people that come in the lifetime access now, and soon lifetime access will be removed, right? The people that enter now will be grandfathered in forever. The people that enter now are the ones that believed in the company in the beginning. So that's why they get rewarded, right? That's what is that. This is expensive, guys, right? And Master told you, right? All right. There's a lot of bad actors out there trying to scare retail investors with this kind of insider selling. Exactly. Arun is an Indian broker, old college roommate of my friend. Excellent. So let's see what can we do. And it'll be nice if we can bring him on the channel to interview him to see what we can do, honestly, if he wants to figure out. Because I have some questions. Is it safe? Is the government safe? What's the fraud protection look like? Stuff like this. You don't want another Enron. You don't want to invest. I mean, yeah, we can pull the data, but if the data is fudged, right? If they're cooking the data, then we got to be careful. At least with America, it's a little bit, we have audits. That's the base not working. I'll get more info. Insiders will award. Okay, good. So now let's go ahead and let's talk about, if I can find it. Let's talk about why, where do these shares go? Okay, fine. The insiders automatically let go of a lot of shares. The question now is, where do these shares go? So now, to explain that, let me open up something here. I appreciate Dr. Patel. No, honestly, and this is the whole thing about the community. This is why the community is so important, right? The more minds we have, the more GPUs we stack against each other, and it's just a bunch of brains together, and the amount of knowledge just compounds. So I'm going to move my keyboard. I'm going to put the mouse here. The mouse. Put the mic here. I'm whipping out the iPad, guys. I'm whipping out the iPad. We're going to do iPad. Okay. We're going to do some iPad learning. Okay. Okay. You guys can still hear me, right? And when the mic is this far, you guys can still hear me? Is this still good? Can you still hear me if I'm like this? If I'm far away from the mic? Let me know if you can still hear me. You guys hear me? Good. Good. All right. So yesterday, excellent. Yesterday we talked about a lot of things. I recommend watching last night's live. We drew all this in last night's live. We drew all this. We spoke about this. This is part of our lifetime access. Again, it's like the Mayo Clinic. We have the shields, right? We have like the same methodologies we applied, right? We have the education, the research, and the deep dives, right? Again, for folks that want access, understand that this is by far one of the best platforms out there. We have no competitors. We really don't. It's lifetime access, coupon code SAS to get access to lifetime access to all the stock markets around the world, right? To calculate the intrinsic value of any stock market you choose, okay? And to have access to over $45 million of net worth, climbing to soon to become billions of dollars. Just curious right now, see where's the portfolio at. Now we're killing it, guys. We're killing it. All right, so let's go ahead and go back here. Yesterday's video, I recommend checking it out. We talked about doing covered calls, cash secured puts, getting a house, how ultimately this investment is going to ultimately turn into over $733 million. Right? So you can see, how using this to buy properties can make you a lot of money. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Safari. We're going to go ahead here. We're going to download this. We'll access this one here. Let me see if I can. No. Let me see. Hold on. How do I open this up in Notability? Can someone tell me this? I did it here. How did I do that? Import. There it is. Michelle, hold on for a sec. I'm going to set this up right now. Okay, guys, we're setting this up. Let's move this here. Yeah, God bless the setup. I did a new setup, guys. I'm gonna re-update this setup right now after this live, and it's gonna look this setup is gonna look really nice, guys. And if you can, a nice wet and dry paper towel if you can. Okay, so what am I gonna do? So we're gonna open up the calculation here. I have another screen here I'm working on right now, so I can do things a lot better. Okay. All right. So this is Q1. Okay. So what we're going to do is the question now lies very simply. Clover Health insiders are selling. Where are they selling to? Are they selling to the open market? Who are they selling to? Right. So very quickly, I can kind of explain this in a very easy to understand format. Okay. I'm going to explain it to you, and then I'm going to show you I'm going to explain it to you, and then I'm going to show you the math. I think that's the best way. Okay. So this is Peter. Okay. Peter comes to work at Clover Health. Okay. So what happens is Clover. Thanks. Ooh, nice banana snacks. Look at that. Nice gold-plated Turkish design here, Michelle. Wow, she's whipping out the fancy furniture here. Nice. Mm. Mm. Hold on. I haven't had lunch yet, breakfast. So. All right, so let's do some work. Michelle, can I have a wet paper towel? Because the oil's in my hand. Okay. Thank you, babe. So let's do some business. Okay. So Peter works at Clover. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Now the problem is when someone works, they expect pay, right? They expect the business to pay. There has to be some expectations that he's going to be rewarded. Clover has two ways of paying. Two ways. There's cash, and there's something called stock based comp, or I like to say SBC. Okay. Stock based compensation. Okay. And let me say this is the Peter. He's holding an iPhone. and he is basically taking pictures of himself. I love you, Peter. This is just a joke. Don't take it. I love you, Peter. Okay, just to teach. Again, I'm trying to teach financial literacy. Okay, okay. He's like, okay, and that's Peter. Okay, so okay, so now Clover has to pay Peter. So obviously they can do some cash, which they do, but what they can do is they issue shares. So instead of paying cash, because they have to pay cash, and if they don't do this, Clover's going to have to dilute. So you're going to get diluted, and it's most likely going to make the stock price go down. Yada yada yada. What's going to make you lose more money? So what they do is they do stock-based comp. Now, very quickly, using our terminal here, if you go to Palantir, and then if you graph the amount of shares they have, look at that amount of shares that they did here. They went from 1.7 billion, 1.9 billion, 2 billion, 2.1 billion. So if you do the enhanced AI analysis, you can, I'm sure, I guess they've been doing it appropriately, but you could see the share count increased a lot. So Palantir is doing it, right? And obviously Palantir has been successful. So a lot of companies do this. Retail investors don't know business. They don't even know how many millions are in a billion, right? They don't even know how many billions are in a trillion, right? That's fine, right? Which is why we have our platform that teaches you, gives you the data, and gives you the community, and gives you the research, and you get rich. So, they give you stock-based comp. The problem is, every time this thing gets vested, automatically, there's a sell for taxes. Okay. So then now, Clover, so there's a sell. So the question is, the $1 million question is, who gets these shares? Where are these shares going? Okay, fine. Peter's selling. Okay. Automatically. Right? So Peter is selling all this money, and all the other ones, Andrew Toy, they're all giving it away automatically. This is an automatic process. So, okay. So they have these shares. Who gets them? So what Clover does, they take these shares and they can do two things with them. They could sell them to the open market, okay? And the market price, let's say, is $3.50, and they can take the shares times the stock price, which is $3.50 on average, and that gives them the money, which then can be used to pay. I have doctor's handwriting, right? To pay, but you get my point. To pay taxes. But instead, so they can do that. The question is, have they done that? The answer is no. They have not done that, ladies and gentlemen. No, they have not. Okay. What they did is they took the shares and they put them. Oh, this is going to hurt my artistic skills. You think I can draw a box? Oh, I'm a terrible artist. That is terrible. Let me see if I can draw it. That's a box. Do you know how much brain power that took? Okay. I can't draw. This, we call these. What is this? I'm gonna paint it gold. Gold and black. Kind of like a nice, gold. Oh, this is gold, guys, right? What is this, guys? Right? This is called treasury shares. So what they do is they take these shares and they put them in treasury shares and they save them. But you have a problem. You have a problem. What's the problem? Government still wants their tax money. So what they do instead is they use cash, or how about this? Their own cash to pay taxes. You see that? So again, let's go ahead and let's restart the story again. And this is called artistic stock market, okay? Nowhere in all the business schools does people do it like this. Okay, I've been teaching for over 10 years. This is a very funny way of doing it. I even got Clover's color right? All right, so let's go ahead and draw this out, okay? So Peter's enjoying his time posting on LinkedIn, okay? Works at Clover Health. Clover Health pays him. Okay, let's go ahead and actually make this. Clover pays him. Clover can pay him in two ways: cash or stock-based comp. He has a lot of shares. He's not selling all of his shares. He still has like 6 million shares or whatever. Automatically every year, right? There's a certain amount that gets vested and sold for taxes. So he disposes these shares. And these shares, where do they go? Clover takes them. Clover takes the shares. They have two things that they can do with these shares. They can sell them at the open market, which is currently trading at $3.50. I know it's like $3.60 now. I'm just saying $3.50. $3.50. Okay. And they can use that money to pay taxes. Okay. Or they can take these shares and put them in their little treasury box. And if they put them in their treasury box, what are they going to do? Okay. What are they going to do? They're holding them. The question is, why are they holding them? What could they possibly be holding them for? That's a different question. I'm going to explain that with the numbers. I'm just giving you the structural logic right now before giving you the numbers, before you get, I don't know, I got lost, right? You can't tell me you got lost after this, right? Because I just spent literally 15, 20 minutes explaining you the architecture of this, okay? So if you're not paying attention, it's your fault, right? By the way, everything that we're doing now, I'm strategically doing this on purpose. So in the future, once the stock goes up $30 plus and people are rewatching these videos, they're going to realize that this is actually can be mathematically calculated. Okay. So they have these shares. So but the problem is the government still wants their money. The government has their hand. We need our money. Criminals, right? So we have to pay them. You have to pay the mob, right? You have to pay America. So taxation is theft, right? So they take their cash now and they have to pay taxes. So they used cash instead of the treasury shares. They printed money, they printed their shares, but yet they're using their own cash and they're keeping the shares. Why do they want to keep the shares? Just like how we're keeping the shares, because we know it's valuable. Okay. The question is, can you mathematically prove that they did this? Let me explain. First, let me go ahead and remove all this so that it's good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mathematically show this. Now, also, a little side token here. When they do a share buyback, it shows up. They also put in the treasury shares. So share buybacks also go into treasury. Okay. All right. So now that we did this, now let's go ahead and let's open up Clover Health's first quarter and let's see if we can mathematically prove this. Before we do that, Michelle gave me this wonderful snack here. Some carrots, some imported Italiano, what is this? Salami? Yeah. Carrots with some lemon. So some nice snacks as I'm working towards this. Okay. So now let's see if we can mathematically figure this out. Okay. Oh, what's this? Tzatziki glass. Oh, wow. Excellent. Okay. All right. So how do we figure this out? Well, we have to go to cash and cash equivalents. In fact, let me use a brighter color. Okay. You have to follow this line. Okay. This was last year. This is this year. So you have to find the difference. To do that, we have to take the 194. Oops. You have to take the 194, subtract it from 155. So let's go ahead and do that. So 194.54 subtract from 155.44. Why did I put a 4? Because this 9 makes it round up. Elementary math. I'm trying to figure out how much cash did they lose this quarter. To do that, we'll put it in our calculator. So they lost $39.1 million. Okay, I'm going to just call it M. So the question now is 39.1 million. Where did it go? Okay, let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, so this is the balance sheet. So let's keep going. Now let's go to treasury stock. Here's treasury stock. Here is 62 million. Here's 30 million. This is obviously is in 2024. This is in 2025. Okay. So then now, we got to figure out what's the difference. How much did the treasury stock increase? Let's see here. Somebody commented, "That's rabbit food. Does Michelle have you on a diet?" Yeah. I'm on a diet, guys. I'm doing push-up like master. Who? I got some rabbit food. I don't know. You know who paid the tariff? Wall Street paid the tariff. My option selling paid the tariffs. All right. So So now it's negative because that's money they spent. It's a contra equity account for all my accountants out there. So we take 62.95 million. Y is 5, rounds up. Okay. Subtract 30.99. So I want to know how much money did they add to their treasury. So they added 29.96 million. Okay, so now we figured out. Let's see if we can cut this and kind of turn it like this and make it small. Isn't that trippy? Okay. So now we know that 29.96 million was added to the treasury. So now the question now is we have to figure out from this 29 million, how many, and let me just do the same thing here. Isn't that nice? Kind of fix it here. So I have to turn my head. So now we have to figure out how many of this was treasury and how many of this was share buybacks. Okay. To do that, we have to go to the cash flow statement. So to do that, we go to treasury stock acquired, 13.659 million. So 13.659. We're going to say 13.66 because that 9 rounds up to the 5 to make it a 6. Okay. You see this? Rounds up like that. So 13.66. So they added they put 13.66 million in treasury. They also added a repurchase of common stock. They bought back their shares from that 20 million repurchase buyback. And they bought 18.297 million. We're going to say 18.3. So now we know 18.3 million was share repurchase. So if we add these two numbers together, we should get a total of 13.66 plus 18.3. $31.96. It's around the same price as this. Most likely, there are probably some discrepancies that you must add with all these other numbers here. But you get a total of 31.96 million. That's the total. That's the hard number. So now we're going to say we're going to take 31.96, which includes the share buybacks and the treasury. We're going to take this number. Someone said it. It's a 32 million difference. Did I do the math wrong? Oops. Let me double check. Oh, that's why I was like, the math didn't work out. So I said there are probably some discrepancies here. No, the only discrepancy was I added this wrong. And you see, I was able to correct myself because the math didn't work out. This is why accounting works. Everything has to balance. So 62.95 plus 30.99, I was doing it in my head, unfortunately. It's 31.96 million. You see how if you take this, subtract from this, you get 31.96. Let me just write this a little better. If you take these numbers, subtract from each other, you get 31.96. Thank you. Now she got me this pressed juice. What's going on, Michelle? What am I gonna? What am I having, a mukbang here? I'm trying to teach. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so you can see how the difference is 31.96 million. 13.66 came from Treasury. That's them selling their shares. That's they're selling shares. That's them adding. Okay, there's 18.3 mil. Okay, so now we're trying to figure out how the hell did they get this loss. So how the question that we have to figure out is, how did they get 39.1 million loss? So we already found that 31.96 million is in their treasury chest, which includes the buybacks and the treasury stock that they acquired, right? And so there's that. So now if you subtract 31.96 from 39.1, you get 7.14 million in loss. So the question you have to ask yourself now is, where is that loss coming from? So think, any guesses? So where is that 7 million coming from? So to figure that out, we have to go in to the cash flow statement. You have to look at the net cash by operating activities. That's 16.29 million negative, right? So then also you have to look at net cash from investing activities. So before we add the operational expenses, we have to add the investing. Let's add the investing. So 8.93 million, because that's money that they made from their investments. So let's go back here and let's add, what was the number again? 8.93. So if we add, this is, by the way, this is a negative number. If we add 8.93 million, we get what? What do we get? If we get 8.93 million added to 7.14, sorry, subtracted from that you get positive 1.79 million. But you also have to subtract OCF, which was 16.29 million. $16.29 million. So you subtract the 18.2, subtract the 13.6, you subtract the 16, and you add the 9.9. And ultimately, once you do that, you end up getting towards that. So let's just go ahead and just add all these together to make it simple because I made it a little bit more complicated than what it is. So you had 194.543 million, which is this thing here. Okay. We subtracted 18.297 million. This was the repurchase. Then we're also subtracting the 13.659 million, which is the what? Treasury stock. Okay. And then we go ahead and we added 8.930 million, and that was net cash from investing. Then there's obviously a discrepancy of around $200,000, and that's because of rounding and adjustments and miscellaneous activity. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and add these together and see what we find. So let me go ahead and figure this out. So 18.297 plus 13.659 plus 16. Oh wait, oh sorry, oopsies. Let me also add back the 16.293 million, which is OCF, and then add the 8.93 million. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we do that, we say 18.297 plus 13.65, I'm using a calculator now, plus 16.93, wait, 293. We add that together, and this turns into a mega negative number of negative 48.249 million. Then you have to add this to this from investing activities, which is 8.93. So when you do that, you get 39.319 million, which is equivalent to the loss that we got. Okay. So here it is. So what we did is we did a repurchase, we did treasury stock, and we did OCF. We added all those negatives because they used cash. So they used cash because remember, we're looking at cash and cash equivalents. And we're going ahead and we're taking this cash, and the cash dropped. Okay. So the cash went ahead and dropped. Okay. Why did the cash drop? Because they spent 18.2. They spent right here. Let me highlight it. They spent 18.29 million on repurchases. They spent 13.65 million on the treasury stock, which means what they did is instead of selling that treasury stock for taxes, they said, Peter, we're going to grab the treasury shares. We're going to keep them, but we're going to use our cash instead to pay the government. We'd rather lose cash than our shares right now because our shares are worth a lot more money. And then they got negative 16.293 million of OCF negative, and then they got 8.93 million of investing activities that were positive. If you sum up all these numbers, you get 39.31 million, and that's how much money they lost. And if you were to go ahead and add 39 million to this, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let me just go ahead and say 155 plus 39, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 8, 9, 9, 1, 194, which is what this is. You see how we balanced it out? You see how we essentially balanced out the overall plus and minus of how where the cash went. So the question now is did they really lose cash? Like, were they really, did they really lose cash? Because they were only -1 GAAP net income. So how did they lose $39 million? Because why did they lose it? Well, it's very simple, because they bought back their shares. So when someone says why insiders are selling, they don't understand what they're talking about. And you have to dig deep into the financial statements to actually understand, and use our stock terminal to see the whole picture. Now, let me go ahead and take a look at this thing here. So quality, not quantity. These 3-hour daily videos are too much for you to start getting a larger audience. No one has time for patience. Here's the thing, Esri. In the next coming years, I'm not going to be on YouTube. I'm going to end up leaving YouTube. There really isn't a point of me making these videos. These videos are what I'm doing is, this is a kind of like a one thing. This is a donation to the public. Okay. So let me just explain in terms of, larger audience. Again, I'm not trying to make money off of YouTube. I'm going to be making over $500,000 to $1 million a month. I'm going to be a physician. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be taking care of patients. I'm going to be a real estate developer. I'm going to be, there's too much, right? So this video is we're analyzing and breaking down Clover Health to show folks, because this has been the most destroyed stock that you can think of, just like Enphase, just like Tesla one upon a time, just like Nvidia, Enphase, all these other things, right? AMD used to be in the early dollars, right? So the point is to show these lives and to break this down. Okay, we're breaking, because the thing is, a lot of people are saying, why is insider selling? This is an educational platform. So we're going to go ahead and break this down very slowly, so then people of the future can go in and figure out all of this and to see how much due diligence it takes, right? The thing is, this takes me a long time to go ahead and break this down. Okay. I know there's people out there that are like, give me a buy or sell. Now, of course, on the platform, we have the portfolio hedging modeling system, where we have our stock picks, then the triple dragons and whatnot. But ultimately, that's not my mission, is to grab a large audience. I don't care about that, right? The people that watch right now, they want to learn how to read financial statements. And what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a case study. So when the stock in the next 10 to 15 years, if you're watching this, you're going to say, wow, I need to learn all this, and I need to have access to the data. And they're going to be like, how was this guy able to go from homelessness to essentially becoming a multimillionaire? And then now, soon in the next 10 to 15 years, this stock will explode. This portfolio you'll see will explode. Okay. The problem is, if you go online, you're not going to see this information. In terms of quality versus quantity, I have a $1,500 iPad that I'm writing on, a $300 mic, an $8,000 computer with a $3,000 setup, using a $20 to $25 million stock terminal that I created. And I'm doing a business lecture on how to make money on Wall Street by doing a deep dive using information that you would normally have to spend $300,000 on getting an MBA. So to some person's quality of not seeing the value is some person's treasure, if that makes sense, right? So you might not see it as value, but I'm going to tell you again, others may not see it. I'm not saying you are, I'm saying others. That's their thing. They could go to the Meet Kevins. They could go to the other people out there to watch their videos, and I wish them luck. I wish them luck in their Meet Kevin PP ETF. Oh wait, wasn't that closed down? Right? Oh, I wish them luck in Tattooed Chef or Voyager. Oh wait, hold on. Didn't that go bankrupt? I wish them luck. I wish them luck. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is a very slowed down process to teach this information. And you can see as I'm trying to teach it, I'm like, no, wait. I'm trying to show you where the money goes, but I'm confusing you. And then I was like, you know what? Let me try again. And let me mathematically just explain it to you here. You know, we started with 2024, they had 194 million in cash. In 2025, they had only 155.44 million. They lost 39.1 million. Where did they spend the money? You got to know where the money spent. They spent 18.29 million buying back their stock. They spent 13.65 million instead of selling the treasury stock, using cash to pay taxes. So they kept the treasury stock. They kept it because it's undervalued, but stupid retail investors are selling it. But that's fine. Then they have negative 16 million of OCF, and you have to add 8.93 million from investing. Where did I get the 8.93 million? Very simple. I got it right here. From investing activities, right here, 8.93 million. So yes, I get it. These are long lives, but I'm telling you, what I'm trying to create is something that no one else is doing. You're comparing other folks that don't care. They give you these 5-7 minute videos and you act like you know to make you feel good. They tell you what you want to hear, right? I'm breaking down the numbers and I'm doing it in a very long orientated fashion because the people that are joining Lifetime Access are people that like this type of setting. They want to become a master. They want to retire. They want to make a shit ton of money every month. Okay? But ultimately, there will come a time once Clover goes to its intrinsic value and above its intrinsic value, we are going to be limiting, if not stopping, the videos because there's no point. I've shown you, I've proven to you this works. I've given you a pathway to change your life. The free information gets stopped at that. That's it. It's done. And you can meet me in the Lifetime Access. Then this free information spigot gets turned off. It's done. Okay? Look at Roaring Kitty, right? Is he on right now? No, he's building his portfolio, 200, 300 million. That's what I'm going to be doing. But instead of, I'm going to be doing it and showing my Lifetime Access members, the people that believed in us from day one, to create this beautiful thing of democratization of financial literacy and data. So I'm sorry, my friend, but there will come a time because I'm going to have children, right? I'm going to have patients to take care of, right? I can't be on here like this, but this is a case study to showcase you that this is how Wall Street works. You got to put on the glasses. You got to, get the pen. You got to look at these things. You got to use a stock terminal. Some of us enjoy the long, detailed videos because our dopamine sensitivity isn't fried. Exactly. This is amazing, Al. That's why they call them dumb money. Exactly. They want the 6-minute videos. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to tell you right now is something that no one wants to know. Clover Health is on its pathway of being this and that and this and this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, institutions are piling up. Go ahead and give us a subscribe and bottom and hit us a like button, and I'll see you and catch you on the next one. That's it. The video's done. I can do that. But what is that going to do? What, right? He has oh yeah, well, there's yeah. I don't want to say anything, but you guys be the determinant of that news, right? Yes, Voyager went bankrupt. I had 5. Oh, god damn! You had 5 Bitcoin in Voyager. What criminals? And they never give it back to you. Those freaking criminals. Those freaking criminals. That's why I store my coins in my coin wallet. Not exactly. Not your keys. Not your crypto. Is that what they say? 100%. I'm absorbing this, and it take along as you want out. I appreciate you. And sometimes I try to find a way to explain kind of how things work. And I mean, honestly, I mean, who the hell is explaining Peter with this insider? So, I mean, do you really think someone's out there going to explain this to you guys? And I'm explaining it right. So I'm happy that there's people out there that see value in what we're doing. And it's not like we're just speaking theoretical. We're making a shit ton of freaking money. We're up $597 freaking $1,000 in 1 year. We're making a shit ton of freaking money. Okay. So it's not like we're being theoretical here, right? We're talking cold hard cash, right? The mystery box. Never underestimate the power of the box. The mystery box, cold hard cash. If you know, you know. It's another YouTuber I like. He goes in different pawn shops and trolls these people. He literally has a box and brings out this thing called this cash. He says cold hard cash. And then he brings out cash that's frozen, that's literally cold. You could just literally smash someone in the head with it. Right? Anywho. So let's go ahead and remove the iPad. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about what goes into these lives. I mean, this is $1,500, right? This machine's $10K. The screens are about, machines in Tucson. That's a $40,000 setup. This is the 30. I mean, a lot of money is being spent here, guys, to be able to do high level education. I'm telling you right now, this is way better than Harvard. Harvard, they'll walk you out with debt. With my program, you'll walk out a millionaire. As what Master the Chin said, from $74,000 to $926,000. Right? We're doing things a lot differently here, ladies and gentlemen, because people are tired. People are tired of the bullshit, right? People are tired. They want something deep. They want something real. They don't want bullshit, right? Save the bullshit for CNBC. If you want a short video, CNBC. Right? And it's not like this is going to be forever. I mean, at the end of the day, this is, again, these lives that you see are going to end up being deep dives where you'll have a bunch of boxes here of people's faces and people are communicating, and we are all in the lifetime access talking about the market and our next moves. That's it. So it's a beautiful box, Al. Oh, it's beautiful. I try to make it go. I try to, be artistic. Teach one, reach one, share your, exactly, right? Al, you have given 2 semesters of applied instruction with just YouTube alone. Exactly. The amount of teaching that I've given is insane. It is insane. We have accounting and finance professors, even from Harvard, are messaging me. They're like, man, I wish I can teach something like this in Harvard. It's unfortunate. I don't know why they don't like to teach this. I mean, I have my reasons, but no. Garrett here. The difference between Al and the other YouTubers is he doesn't pump at stock and tells you the truth. Even when Clover's close to doing a split. I said this is a potential thing. Don't mind a long life. You're giving up time to teach. You aren't forcing anyone to be here. Exactly, right? We live in a quick consumption culture. I don't say much because making money on our stock trades. Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, this information stuff, I like to slow it down because I can go fast. I can go real fast. I can go like this. Okay. CLOV had $194.54 million in cash and cash equivalents. They went ahead and did $18.29 million to repurchase common stock with $13.659 million of treasury stock, plus their negative $16.9 million of OCF, added to their cash from investing activities of $8.93 million. Added on to that, it's $155.43 million. I can go and add that and speak it. I can speak it with my eyes, right? I can say that, but how's that going to help you? How's that going to help you? I'm doing it slow, and I'm showing you just one company, the deep dive I'm doing. And I'm teaching you. And I'm going to be teaching lifetime access members. And then once we have these soldiers of lifetime members, right? That's why Master the Chin, blessed turd, right? Because these people are going to end up using the same methodologies I teach, but they're going to be focused on the healthcare sector. So some of the lifetime soldiers are going to be focused on the oil field sector. Some lifetime soldiers are going to be focused on the semiconductors, right? And each one we're going to appoint division head of semiconductors, division head of artificial intelligence, division head of robotics. And they're going to be using the software to look at both international and domestic markets, because now we have access to over 60 stock markets data. So we have access to the 0.001%. Most people, if you're watching from India, I'm sorry, they don't want to give it to you, but they give it to someone like me, right? So, right, money talks. So, but you can use my platform to access it, right? Our platform. But yeah, then once a recession hits, we have a Zoom call. I'm in my condo, beachfront view. Like, okay, division head of robotics. Let's say, I don't know, Acorns wants to do, I don't know, right? Division of risk management, right? Where's my bears? All right, J-Dub is my bear. Tell me what is the bad? What is something I'm missing? Everyone is going to come together, right? Right? So here. You'll never get this much time with a surgeon, even if you're the patient. Yeah, I know it's sad, dude. Yeah, with patients, there's no time. I go in 3 minutes. You got to be quick. It's a shame because, without you, I would have sold at 60 cents. And unfortunately, there's others that did, right? Where's the link to the SaaS? So all you have to do is you go to alstocktrades.com, AL Stock Trades, right? Where is it? All right, let me just show you. I don't know why So you go to alstocktrades.com. You click here. Okay. You go to Al Stock Trades. And all you got to do is either pick this or this. This is like lifetime access. So let me double check. Excuse me. These two are included the lifetime access for the premium stock terminal. This is just the basic. These two things include this. So you go on here, you go here, and all you got to do is put SAAS, SAAS, SaaS. You get $1,200 removed. If you're from the United States, you get a firm and all this. And then depending on your credit score, you get PayPal if you want to do monthly. But here it is. That's it. Done. Right? The irony of making the video longer by sending Al off on a tangent. Oh, yeah, exactly. Sorry. I'm on a tangent now. Don't drink and dial in. That was so fun. Right? and hit that like button, right? Exactly. So now we went ahead and talked about this. Now let's go ahead and we went ahead and talked about the shares being sold, because again, these are questions I'm being asked, and I was like, this is a good question, so I decided to make a video about it. So hopefully, Mr. Little Guy, hopefully you like the educational content. There it is. We explained it. We explained the insider selling. As insiders are selling automatically, obviously it's not considered real insider selling. We have about 26% ownership now for Clover. Now Webull showing 27.92%. Thank you to B-Rob. We have 115.88 million of shares being owned. We have a strong buy signal. And if we were to analyze all this data from 1932 all the way and see all this data, we're expecting that we're definitely going to be positive, 2 standard deviations above the mean, and we're going to start this in the next couple of months. So, and the probability ascends higher. So I'm very positive of the market right now. Same thing with the NASDAQ. We have a huge buy signal happening. In terms of algo flow, interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go to, again, this is all included in lifetime access. Normally, if you go to algo flow, we bring you data from all over the world as well. So, smash Al's box, the mystery box. Let me see. Let's put Clover and let's go ahead and put the number of days. So as of right now, we're seeing Clover's algo flow go up. And obviously we saw it here and you could see the stock price increase, but now we're starting to see the algo flow start coming down. And that's a bit interesting, ladies and gentlemen. That's a bit interesting. That is interesting. So potentially we may get some consolidation on the downside. We do expect some form of consolidation on the S&P as what we were predicting, because it's been up for many times for quite some time, and the technical indicators are saying that potential we may have some form of not a retest at the bottoms, but some consolidation. Clover here, you can see it's consolidating really well, and I think we're going to start to go up. HIMS, we've done this due diligence before. We called it out before November and Thanksgiving. It shot up to $72. It fell, retested the support level. Now it's on its way up. Let's see. Let's look up SPX, and you can see, I was predicting that we would be down, but we've been going up, and we're at some time we're going to have to go down, but the market's just not doing it. So we'll see what ends up happening, right? It's a resilient market, I have to say. If you look at CLOV, they observed a bullish sentiment. It expires in 245 days, January 16. Parties traded 500 contracts at 350 strike. The particular role needed to split 20 different trades. Total cost received by writing parties, 40.5K. 81 contracts they were sold. So there's a lot of calls, ladies and gentlemen, more than puts. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at this video here. And this is a little podcast of what's going on here, right? The issue is, guys, so many people lose money in the stock market, and it's unfortunate. That it is. I'm teaching you how it's done, right? And some people are going to want a fast, like where we're in a fast consuming culture. You might want to. We kind of somewhat address this. If you go on YouTube, we do have these things called Al Stock Trades clips, but these are clips that are okay. They're not really the best, but I would say they're still good. They clip really nicely, but again, it's just clipped information. You're getting just a piece of the information. You're not getting the whole piece, and most of the time you don't even see the unfortunate part of the board. But definitely subscribe to this, and you'll see little clippings, right? So let's now go to this Becker interview. Let's stop the sharing of the screen so we can share the audio, shall we? And let me know if you guys hear this.
brings the power of wonder and relentless innovation to create world-class pharmacy, care, and benefit solutions. Barriers to care can lead to gaps in care, which can drive up the total cost of care. Our capabilities work seamlessly together to create innovative pharmacy, care, and benefit solutions for today and tomorrow. Our connected health services make the treatment, prediction, and prevention of healthcare's most complex conditions easier and more accessible as we drive organizations and people forward.
This is Haley Recker with the Becker's Payer Podcast, and we are recording live at the Becker's third annual Spring Payer Issues Roundtable. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Dr. Damanjeet Chaubey, who is the Vice President of Clinical Affairs at Clover Health. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining me today. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about your background?
Sure. So happy to be here. I'm Damanjeet Chaubey, Vice President of Clinical Affairs at Clover Health, trained as an internal medicine and palliative care. I continue to practice medicine and have few decades of healthcare experience in a variety of physician leadership positions on both on the healthcare system side and now with Clover Health. Really, what I'm passionate about is everything that solves for how to deliver the best quality of care to our Medicare beneficiaries. I'm happy to be at Becker's, share my experiences, and learn from my esteemed colleagues.
Well, thank you so much for that brief introduction. I'm really excited to get into our discussion today. To kick things off, balancing affordability and quality is a constant challenge for health plans. How is your organization innovating to manage the cost of care while maintaining or improving member outcomes?
So that's a great question, and we at Clover have been very successful in managing this challenge, affordability and quality, because our approach is really unique in the sense that our approach in managing the health of our members is unique and differentiated from traditional MA approaches. Firstly, we are a tech-centric model focused on improving clinical care outcomes via software, which is our Clover Assistant platform. So our approach is clinical. It is physician enablement via AI-powered technology through our Clover Assistant platform. And it's just not focused in, just on basic insurance tech process. So this is a very, different process. Next, I think our care strategy. It is rooted in early disease identification, management, and care treatment by our clinicians who use Clover Assistant technology. It's more of a proactive process rather than a delayed or a reactive, typical healthcare process. Thirdly, I feel that our network construct is a wide open PPO plan, which is unique. We are not focused on risk delegation. And most importantly, we believe strongly in providing longitudinal home-based care for our most at-risk population by physicians who are using our Clover Assistant powered technology. We are not just focused on one-time visits. We believe in longitudinal care management for our members. And because of all these reasons, I think for our year-to-date 2024 performance, we've been able to achieve industry standard leading MCR of 75.6% and an insurance benefit expense ratio of about 80.6% in 2024. We've also grown at the same time, however, in a measured pace, continuously innovating, achieving profitability in 2022, and with a steady growth in our membership in 2025. So we are very, very excited about our future, kind of like implementing our unique approach to managing Medicare. 2024 performance, we've been able to achieve industry standard leading MCR of 75.6% and an insurance benefit expense ratio of about 80.6% in 2024. We've also grown at the same time, however, in a measured pace, continuously innovating, achieving profitability in 2022, and with a steady growth in our membership in 2025. So we are very, very excited about our future, kind of like implementing our unique approach to managing Medicare.
Well, I'd love to go a little bit deeper into quality of care. The regulatory landscape is always changing. So, what best practices or tools does your organization rely on to keep quality of care at the forefront?
Again, I think what I would like to say to answer that question is that the answer is a tech centric clinical delivery model of care and our benefit design of an open network. So we want to engage with all stakeholders, including patients and our providers. And we believe strongly that consumers prefer PPO plans that allow them to see physicians that they have existing relationships with. What's unique about Clover is that 90% of our membership is in a PPO plan with a 3.5-star rating for 2025 and a 4-star rating for 2026. Clover Health also has been rated 4.94, but really a 5-star on HEDIS measures for star rating year 2025. So that speaks about quality. And I think it's so important that we think about, we want to meet the members where they are, that we need for them to see the physicians that can take care of them, and which is very unique. Most plans focus on an HMO delivery model, but we don't. But we are still able to maintain quality by even giving wide access to our members. So that's first. And secondly, we engage with our providers via our care platform, that's our Clover Assistant, CA technology, which is the leader in clinical AI. We synthesize 100 plus data sources, including electronic health records, pharmacy data, physician notes, lab data, claims data, and generate insights from more than 100 proprietary models that deduplicate, they normalize the data, they enrich the clinical data repository, and they surface the most relevant and meaningful suggestions to the clinicians at the time of their patient encounter. So when I see patients using Clover Assistant, I can see a consolidated view of the patient's specific insights, right? What are their existing medical problems? What are their medications? Review their medications. Have they filled them? When did they fill them? Are there any gaps? Did they get admitted to the hospital? Did they ever go and receive ED care? Their recent labs, their discharge notes. And, I am able to review their care gaps. So all of this and some more, because of our AI-based model, we are even able to present to the clinicians the risk of future adverse events or suspected diagnoses that will help with timely diagnosis and treatment, for our members. Focus on preventative care, focus on medication adherence and other quality measures. As a physician, I feel that nothing is more important than timely diagnosis and treatment for my patient. And I can make the best decisions for my patient if I have the right information when I actually see them. Because of this, technology that we have, our Clover Home Care cohort, those are physicians managing our patients using CA technology, have shown significantly improved MCR, for our highest acuity population through managing them at home, focusing on readmission prevention, and also looking and assessing for unknown and emerging risks. So empowering every physician with technology to identify, manage, treat chronic conditions earlier leads to higher clinical care, better outcomes at lower cost. We've published white papers that support proof of concept for some of the disease conditions that are so commonly prevalent in our population, such as diabetes and chronic kidney disease. For example, we've shown that by using our CA technology, you can actually diagnose diabetes earlier. We can actually manage it better with lower blood sugars.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a moment right now to talk about this. You can see when she's talking, this is a doctor. She's talking like the CFO. He's talking like the CEO. Whenever you start seeing members of the people in public talk, and it's almost like they sound like the CEO, this is a good judge that management is walking in one unison, which is exactly how I like to run lifetime access. If you talk to one lifetime access member and talk to another, there is a correlational trend line in how they respond, right? Because it's the culture that's being built. Okay. That's how you know it's a good management team. Can you pay with credit card? Yes, we accept all major credit card providers. Yes, you can. Do you have access to Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, and Finnish stock data? Absolutely. So let me show you real quick. So give me a specific stock from the Netherlands. Give me a specific stock from the Netherlands. Do you have a stock from the Netherlands? Let me see. Yeah. So watch this. So here's the global exchange master list of 44 countries and 60 markets. So Netherlands, it's the Amsterdam Euronext, and it's .as. That's the code. That's the what do you call it? Like the area code. You know when you dial in for the US, it's +1 or something. So ASML is from Netherlands. Okay, great. So we'll go ahead, open this up here and take a look at ASML stock. So this is the company. The thing is, this is also in the United States. So you could technically, this is not the best example, but what you can do is you could just put ASML here, and you'll just get the data from ASML, right? And you could get the extended history, and here's the extended history for the past, more than 30 years or data, right? So, but if you want to go if you want Netherlands, you put AS. The thing is, this is traded on the US market. So if you wanted to access it from the overall, there are two types of currencies. Oh, yes. Okay. So you do .as. You do .as, and then here, this is now .as. Now this is from the Netherlands. You see how the currency changed? So now it's at 20. Now this is like 28 billion. Before it was, oh, it's the same. It's the same. .as. It's the same one. Same thing. So most likely it's probably in that, it's probably in its currency. So what we do is, very quickly, this 28.262 billion, this is in EUR. EUR, right? So this is in this currency. What we're going to do now, since we just released this new market data, what we're going to do now is if someone presses the .as, this here where it says USD, it'll automatically configure and it'll automatically say EUR. EUR. It'll automatically say that. Do you have another company that's not publicly traded? Here, let's see. You said Sweden, right? Is that what Sweden, Norwegian. So let's see. Here's Sweden. Here's the exchange. It's .st. So let's open up here and let's say, is there a publicly traded company in Sweden that's not traded in the United States stock market? What company is that? Is there Banoof? Okay, let's see what this, I've never heard this company before. So this is not traded, right? This is traded in the STO. This is not traded in our stock market. So there's a dash here, so I'd have to update that to see if it works. Let's see if it is. What is it? What is the area code for Sweden? .st. Here it is. Banuf. So it automatically detected the dash. So you see how now you have Banuf, right? And then you can use extended history to see the free cash flow. Try Volvo. Is that like ABB? Which country is ABB from? Because I have to remember, I have to put the zip code. What zip code is it in? ABB? ABB stock. Oh, this is Swedish right here. Swedish. Yeah. Okay, but you don't even have to put it here. You just put this here. ABB. You have it here. ABB. See? You have it. In extended history, ABB. And it shows you when it turned OCF. So look at the AI. It said it turned OCF positive and FCF positive in 2004. So something happened in 2004 and 5. So let's see what happened in 2004 and 5. So you see 2004, it was $5, and then it turned positive, as you can see in our AI summary. And then you can see the stock literally 4x'd. It went up to 28. If you would have inserted the intrinsic value, I'm sure you would have known that this would have been a 10 bagger. You see, you like what you see, right? Cheers. Exactly. Are you starting to see the power? Okay. B-Rob wants me to look at these. I know that joke, right? Look up these. I'm a 90s kid. Come on, you got one on me. Imagine if I did. These, what's the area code? NUTS? Area code is NUTS? These nuts right now. Okay, so all right, so sorry guys. I'm 5 years old, right? Okay, so we joke around we go from serious in the terminal to like funny in the terminal. This is the fun family. And Patel, it looks like you just joined Lifetime. Hey, welcome to the family, brother. Welcome to the family. Okay. Integrate so you can get ported in. Welcome to the family. But yeah, so you could see, right? Mr. Giancarlo, right? Giancarlo. Let me tell you, you can see the power of the stock terminal. So you can see very, very intimately and beautifully that just like we asked Andrew Toy regarding the Clover Assistant, the counterpart assistant, can it be used internationally? He's like, we believe we can, but we're not focused on that market yet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my stock terminal, our stock terminal, has the proprietary data now and has our AI algorithms to be able to do the enhanced AI analysis and also the generative AI function, as well as the AI summary in any of your companies around the world. So yes, you can find a company that no one knows about, and you think people in Sweden have access to this software? You will literally be competing to hedge funds. You understand what I'm saying? You saw that's a 10 bagger, didn't you see? And you saw how the AI was able to show. Hold on, guys. I told him no. He put his head down. But I'm trying to help you, Dad. They're going to eat us. Humana's going to come get us. All right. I never grew up. My children love me. My wife is like, what the hell did I marry? Same thing with me. I never grew up. And whoever grows up, good luck. Die young. Die young. Right? You want to be mature? Go ahead. Die young. I'm going to enjoy this life. I'm going to enjoy this damn life. You understand me? Okay. So now that you see the power of the terminal, you realize that it was able to show that in 2004 and 5, operational cash flow turned positive, and then it turned positive here, right, in 04, 05. So here's 04. It was at its all-time low at $3. Or sorry, right here at $5, $6. And honestly, you could have seen it here. Let's see if we would have predicted it earlier. Net income was really negative, and then it became positive. And you could see in 2003, it improved from negative 767 million to negative 35 million. And then the book value kept going up. You could see the free cash flow went from negative 700 to positive 700. So it's very clear that they turned stuff around in 2003, right? And what they did is their growth rate, they decreased their growth rate like how Clover did, and then they started increasing it right after. So just like Clover did in 2022 and 2023, these people did it in 2002 and 2003. Just remove that little 2, right? 22 and 23, right? And then all of a sudden you go from here and you find yourself a 12 bagger, and then you find yourself a mega 22 bagger, right? And yes, this is in Sweden. To all my Sweden folks out there, yes, you can become a Sweden billionaire. You can become a billionaire in every country now because we'll give you the data, and our algorithms, our intrinsic value will latch onto your stock market and will make you money. That is the power of our stock trades. That is the power. Okay. So now let's go ahead. I'm very proud of it. The fact that I was able to make this with these two hands right here. These hands have touched brains. Isn't that crazy? These two hands. Holy crap. I'm so excited. I'm just proud because, 17 years ago, or how many years ago? 18 years ago, man, time goes by. I used to be homeless. Can you believe that? God is good. All right, let's go ahead. And let's stop the sharing of the screen and let's share the audio version of this. And by the way, this physician's badass. Just hard worker. Sprinkle some salt, sprinkle some coffee and caffeine and a little bit of Michelle and some faith in God, and that's it. You got yourself, with some carrots because you got to be healthy, and with some damn push-ups from Master the Chin, and you're ready to go. Right? All right, let's listen to this.
Lower use of insulin and lower instances of hypoglycemia. That is,
dude, I wish she was my doctor. I want her to be my doctor. I can listen to her all day.
Profoundly meaningful for any physician. C has also used, has also correlated very well with medication adherence. So I think in a sense, what I would say is, even though that the regulatory landscape can change, if you have the best practices and the tools to take care of your members, good results are just inevitable and will eventually lead to good outcomes.
Well, that was just fascinating. And thank you for going into such great detail there. I want to pivot the conversation a little bit. So looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for payers to lead the charge in transforming care delivery and driving better outcomes for all stakeholders? And how can leaders take a step in this direction now?
Excellent question. I feel that the biggest opportunity in transforming care delivery for better outcomes is home-based care for managing chronic disease conditions. Whilst this may not sound very novel because home-based care has existed in a variety of ways for decades, but the approach has largely been to meet some short-term organizational goals, be it in a post-discharge transition of care visit, a 30-day readmission prevention program, and some common value-based contractual process measures. Most time, patients are lost to follow-up after the initial outreach, and we do not see a huge impact at a national level, except where organizations have taken some bold steps, creating healthcare delivery models that are more comprehensive, holistic, and longitudinal in nature. So I feel there's several aspects to this. that I would really like to, kind of focus on. One, I think technology, right? Technology is really important because it is surfacing the right information for clinicians managing the patients at home. The right technology tools, including connectivity, which can be a huge issue in the rural, remote areas, is a huge benefit in managing our members' expectations. For example, you have to think about, are people getting into an acute exacerbation of their chronic disease? How will we find that out? Can we actually do better remote monitoring, better point of care testing? And how can our own, ML-based Clover Assistant platform help in proactively identifying who's at risk, when are they going to exacerbate, and how can we manage that and reduce their risk? So one of the things that I think is so important is utilizing technology to reduce burdensome processes via AI scribing, perhaps reducing the burden of documentation and billing for physicians so that they can actually focus on patient care, and make a huge difference in the Medicare's, in our Medicare population. Second, I think, is skilled workforce. Do we have the right clinical workforce that can manage the chronic disease at home? It's really important to invest in training, skill building, and the right ratios of the MD, physicians, nurse practitioner, and nurses. This is really critical, because vis-a-vis a cost containment strategy where this ratio of the MD, NP, and nurse is being compromised, cost for quality. So I would say that we really need to re-look at how we manage, with what skills we manage, and then only we'll see a huge difference. Thirdly, I would say that people need to invest in access to medical care, right? I think home-based care can solve for access to care with the right time, with the right team at the right time, using technology, especially in rural areas. I think there was a recent KFF report that highlighted the paucity of specialist care, specifically in Georgia. And interestingly, we just recently launched a clinical program, longitudinal based, home based, comprehensive longitudinal clinical care model in Georgia. And I can tell you through my personal experience that it is profoundly impacting. Patients are so happy.
Guys, you know why they're doing this? So they can set up future growth in Georgia. It seems as Georgia is going to become the next New Jersey. Georgia's going to become the next New Jersey. You hear that? You hear that?
To see an MD and a nurse practitioner in their home, helping manage their chronic conditions, averting ED visits and hospitalizations, and actually navigating and helping them make the right healthcare decisions involving their caregivers, so that the right decision is made and the next action item occurs smoothly. So I feel that coordination of care, is really important, and leaders can support, promote building these sustainable home-based chronic care programs above and beyond, what are the standard care management, processes today. This requires a reset. It requires more investment. It requires a unique way of, operating. And it actually requires not only investment, but I think it requires commitment to, create sustainable programs. And then when you see good outcomes, I think share the wealth, share it with other communities. And then, we can absolutely make some good progress. I think that will, what will lead to or drive appropriate changes in national policies, because without having good data showing good outcomes, it's very difficult to influence change at a national level. And that is really what is required. So thank you.
Well, doctor, thank you so much for meeting with me today. Again, this is Haley Recker with the Becker's Payer Podcast, recorded.
All right, guys, this is incredible news. Very excited. Healthcare reset is literally starting. Yes, and by the way, my apologies, Dr. Patel. I didn't know that was your wife. My apologies. She just sounds. I just love smart women. She sounds like a very smart woman. And just that Indian accent just makes me just very nice. I like Indian people, right? They're very smart. All right, and I love Indian food. You should see me with pani puri. You put oh my god, I'll eat that every day. And then I listen to a lot of Tum Hi Ho and a lot of the Indian music. I feel like I was Indian in my past life. I even got the head nod. Listen, I was with my Indian professor in accounting when I took accounting with him, and I got to a point where I started talking like him. I was a young kid. You tend to follow your teachers. I got the head nod. Like, it just seems like the brain works better like this. I'm not a doctor. No, but was that your wife? I thought that was your wife. You're saying that this is your wife. You should ask her husband. It sounds like you're the husband, right? Are you telling me it's okay? No. No, that's terrible. Okay, so yes. So you know how I told you that institutions were 27.92? I lied. Our stock trades lied. I lied to you. Because B-Rob just went ahead and sent it to me, and he said, actually, it's 28% now. It's higher. It's not 115 million shares. It's 117 million shares. Yes, institutions are buying more. Retail investors sell. Come on, retail investors. Good job. Sell. Keep selling. Good job. Keep selling. Go ahead. Sell. Idiots. They just sell. Idiots. Okay, so there's that. We're going to go ahead and talk about this video and this one later. So we'll go ahead and put that on another live. And let's go ahead and kind of seal it off here. So as you can see, guys. Oh, yeah. Pink Panther, not my wife. I am not. Oh, she's not your wife? Oh, I thought I thought she was your wife. Okay, then I guess we're good to go then, right? No, so all right, guys. So the big thing here is you're starting to realize why the stock terminal is expensive, right? This data is not cheap, right? The fact that we're in, let alone now, we're in every stock market in the United States, and every stock in the United States, and now we're in every stock of any publicly traded company in the world. So we're in the Swedish stock market. We're in the Netherlands. I mean, let me just kind of read this off to you so you can see. We're in the Buenos Aires stock market, Argentina, Australian Securities Exchange, Vienna stock market, Austria, Euronext, Brussels in Belgium. We have the Sao Paulo stock market in Brazil, Canadian Securities Exchange, the NEO Exchange, the Toronto Stock Exchange, the TSX Venture Exchange, which is all Canadians right there. We're in the the Santiago Stock Exchange, the Shanghai Stock Exchange for China, Shenzhen Stock Exchange. We're in the Czech Republic of Prague. We're Denmark, Nasdaq, Copenhagen, right? Estonia, the Nasdaq's Tallinn, AS Riga. We're in Finland, the Nasdaq's, Helsinki, right? We're in France, the Euronext Paris. We're in Germany, Berlin stock market. We're in the Burisch market. We're in the Düsseldorf stock. I don't know what the hell this is. We're in Frankfurt Stock Exchange. We're in Hamburg Stock Exchange. Now we have data to our stock trades is listening to the data there in the Munich Stock Exchange and Germany, Stuttgart Stock Exchange, the Greece, Athens Stock Exchange, Hong Kong Stock Exchange, Hungary, Budapest Stock Exchange, India, Bombay Stock Exchange, India National Stock Exchange of India, the Euronext Dublin, Israel, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, Italy, Meilenheimer Stock Exchange, Japan, Tokyo Stock Exchange, Malaysia Stock Exchange, the Bursa Malaysia, the Mexico Stock Exchange, the BMV of Mexico, Netherlands, Euronext Amsterdam, New Zealand Stock Exchange. I keep going, right? When I tell you over 2.5 billion outputs, we're at 80 billion outputs. We're at 80 billion outputs of institutionally graded data. But let me keep going. I'm still not done yet, right? Norway, Oslo Stock Exchange, New Zealand Stock Exchange, Portugal, Euronext, Lisbon Stock Exchange, Qatar, Salama Alaikum, Qatar Stock Exchange, Russia, Moscow Exchange, Saudi Arabia, Hello Habibi, Stock Exchange, Singapore Stock Exchange, South Africa, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, South Korea, right? The Korea Exchange, the Kozak, Spain, Madrid, the SE Cats, Sweden, Stockholm Stock Exchange, STO, Switzerland, Swiss Stock Exchange, Taiwan Stock Exchange, Thailand Stock Exchange of Thailand, Turkey, the Bursa, Istanbul, United Kingdom London Stock Exchange, the United Kingdom International Order Book, USA, the American Stock Exchange, AMAX, the NASDAQ Stock Exchange, USA, the USA New York Stock Exchange, USA, and the over-the-counter OTC markets. Ladies and gentlemen, our stock trades dominates in 44 countries and over 60 exchanges, billions of data points, one terminal, total market power. Members that sign up now for lifetime access are grandfathered in lifetime access forever. Once you enter, you will have this data for the rest of your life. This offer won't last forever. I'll see you on the inside. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next one.
Albert Allen's got the secrets in his hand. Retail heroes taking over this land. Trading stocks with a master plan. Fortunes rising on the Clover brand. Numbers rolling, deals never stop. Bulls are charging, markets gonna pop. Albert's wisdom higher than the top. With Clover Health, we'll hit the jackpot. Fortune calls, Albert leads the way. Retail winners here to seize the day. Clover's Health, dollars gone its way. In this game, no more bills to pay. Through the highs and lows, we stay strong. Albert's voice guiding us all along. Clover's growth, we're playing like a song. Investing right, never going wrong. Stocks are climbing, reaching for the skies. Albert's insights cutting through the lies. Retail dreams standing tall, they rise. In this world of trades, we're the prize. Fortune calls, Albert leads the way. Retail winners here to seize the day. Clover's Health, dollars gonna sway. In this game, no more bills to pay. Through the highs and lows, we stay strong. Albert's voice guiding us all along. Clover's growth, we're playing like a song. Investing right, never going wrong.